Noble black supremacy. With this particular video, I want to talk about how being a vegan don't really affect your consciousness. That your diet and fitness really don't affect your consciousness in ways that you think. They don't play the role that many people attribute to it. A lot of people say, because I eat healthy, I'm conscious, and that eating healthy has something to do with being conscious. I'm here to tell you today that that is a goddamn lie. That what you eat has absolutely nothing to do with the quality of your consciousness. Now, that doesn't mean what you eat is not important, because what you eat has a lot to do with your vitality, your health, and your longevity on this planet. So diet is very important. Being a vegan is very important. If you want to live a healthy, long, and strong life, the vegan diet would be a very important step towards that. However, diet affecting consciousness and being a significant part of consciousness is a myth. And this story I'm about to go into is going to prove that. You got this guy here, Milan Ross, murdered his family on Christmas. On Christmas Day. Emotionally unstable, serious problems as far as consciousness. You see him here with his son and his wife. This is a vegan chef. This is a guy who lost hundreds and hundreds of pounds and used his own life and experience as a testimony to how you could change your life and change your physical self. He went from overweight to being completely and extremely fit, motivator, inspirational speaker, coach, author, vegan chef. You don't get no more healthier or health conscious than Milan Ross. But while he ate all the right things, he had some problems getting his mind to think the right things consistently. His physical diet was good, but his mental diet obviously was not that good. Some people think you can become a vegan and eat all organic and that you're going to escape doing the internal spiritual work in your life to transform your consciousness, that you're going to use organic fruits and vegetables to ignore the need for a spiritual master and spiritual mastery in your life. That you're going to compensate for the lack of willingness to submit to a guru and an enlightened being on this planet to eating a vegetable. You're going to escape the inner work within your inner self and transform your inner being. You're going to escape that and just transform your outer being. It ain't going to work. Why, if he was so healthy, his diet was so perfect, how could he be so psychotic? Murdered his family. Shot him. Wife and child. Some people say it was over a breakup or something like that. Irregardless, there was some imbalances within the inner consciousness of this individual. There was some issues with the ego, with his perception, with his perceptual framework that led to this tragedy. You think because you have a diet that you're a vegan, that you've already made it and that you've made it. No. Hitler was a vegetarian. You have to do the work on your inner consciousness. You cannot judge a book by its cover. The diet, that's the cover. The physical self, fitness, that's the cover. What's going on inside of that book? Let's look into the chapters. And in a lot of the chapters, if you open up some of these vegans, some of these whole food junkies. If you open up the book and read the chapters, you see bitterness, lack of compassion, lack of forgiveness, hatred. You see a lot of stuff when you start reading those chapters that the individual must challenge themselves to work on. You can't just lose weight and change your diet. You have to lose the mental attachments within your consciousness. You have to lose the weight in your mind that will keep your heart from being able to be weighed up against a feather successfully. You have to lose the weight in your heart and lose the weight in your mind that's making you bitter and angry and mad and upset every single day of your life. The Buddha was fat, but enlightened. Some of you are fit, trimmed, skinny, but in your mind, bitter, confused, depressed, anxiety. And no matter how many vegetables you eat, you remain the same internal person that you was before you changed your diet. And a lot of these people, these health consciousness promoters, are misleading you to make you think that something that you eat is going to change your inner consciousness. To change your inner consciousness, you must have intention, you must have will, you must have discipline, you must have devotion. You must truly embark upon the spiritual journey of self-realization. You can't just go to the gym and work it off. You just can't go to the smoothie shop and drink it down. You have to do the inner work with attachment, with illusion. You have to build your inner consciousness and transform your inner self simultaneously while you're transforming your outer self. And I'm keeping it real with you. The inner self is even more important than the physical self. Because the inner self is the most dangerous part. Because if the inner self is not transformed, then your physical self can be used as a weapon against your own physical self. If your inner consciousness is not in balance and in harmony. Being a vegan will not save you spiritually. It will not redeem you. It is not your salvation. It does not make you more conscious than anybody, more compassionate than anybody, more loving than anybody, more blissful than anybody. You have to do the spiritual work and confront the demons within yourself, the negative thoughts, the negative constructs, the negative paradigms. The matrix of self-destruction must be confronted within yourself. You're going to need the diet because you're going to have to live to do this. You're going to have to be physically strong enough to live to do the spiritual work. You don't need disease to distract you from the spiritual work that you need to do within yourself. You don't need the physical to weigh you down from the spiritual work you need to do within yourself. But you still have to do that spiritual work within yourself. It has to be done. To think that diet is going to make you scot-free is very superficial. And it's the worship of the material world. You worship the material world. You see the material world as your salvation, as the ultimate reality. And it's not. The ultimate reality is within inside of yourself. I have to touch on this. A vegan diet does not make you conscious. It does not make you enlightened. While a lot of enlightened and conscious people are vegans because they care about their body and they care about the earth and nature and they want to be harmless and not kill the animals and destroy the planet. A lot of conscious people are vegans, but all vegan people are not conscious, and being vegan has absolutely nothing to do with being conscious. You cannot go in the store and purchase consciousness, whether it's a vegetable or a book. You have to do the work within yourself and transcend and go beyond the matrix. You have to accept the enlightened beings that manifest on this earth to wake you up and challenge you against the negative reality and constructs within your consciousness. You have to seek out those masters. And just like you have to kill the parasites, kill the bacterias, viruses, you got to also kill the negative consciousness framework, what we call killing your goddamn self. And only enlightened entities can help you do that. But you have to be sincere and have to be real. And it can't just be a joining a club or just trying to look good or something superficial that you want to do, or a way you just want to look. It can't be superficial. You have to be sincere. Sincerity is very important. And the willingness to completely be transformed, and that the negative consciousness framework and self die, and that you're reborn into the spiritual reality of who you really are on an internal level. This King Noble Black Supremacy. Join my website, www.kingnobleuncensored.com. Donate and don't hate.